Hey, what's up, you guys? We are talking about the squat and specifically activation of the core and learning how to do this so you don't exacerbate your lower back, so you don't keep compressing the lower back is a lot of what contributes to lower back pain when you don't know how to properly activate the core. And we're not just talking about the six-pack muscles, right? Which are important for certain things and for, you know, learning how to move your body in a strong and powerful way.
Yeah, and looking really good too.
And looking, you know, looking pretty nice for the guys or the ladies.
Yeah.
But when you aren't activating this deep inner core, which is underneath the abdominal muscles, which is called the TVA, the transverse abdominis, which is the main stabilizer of the spine. It's actually the only core muscle that connects directly to the spine. The other muscles around the core, the rectus abdominis, the obliques, they don't actually give the spine direct support. And what happens is when you're not activating this, then the hips end up compensating, taking over more of the role of the TVA.
Yeah, it's kind of like an analogy that we would use is like, you imagine a football team and they just had a really bad play, everybody knocked their heads and they've all got a concussion, and now they're back on the field for the next play and nobody knows their position anymore. So you've got, you know, your linemen's playing quarterback and it's just a mess and it's not efficient. They're not going to get what they need to get done. So this is what ends up happening when we're internal transverse abdominis, when the psoas isn't working right. And when we get that activating correctly with just actually a few easy cues, what ends up happening is the other muscles, the exterior, like the external obliques, the external obliques and the internal obliques and the rectus abdominis all get to finally do their job. The hips stop working as a stabilizer and they can start becoming mobile again. So you start to notice when you have these kinds of activations, you actually end up getting more mobile and more flexible without actually stretching.
Yeah, it can happen a lot faster, you guys. You know, the deep squat is an example that we're going to give you today, just because it is such an important position to be able to master and to be able to get into comfortably. It's the natural human resting position, right? It helps decompress the spine, does so many good things for you. But what we've seen is so many people, they're doing yoga or they're stretching, you know, months and months and months or years, and they're not making that much progress. And what we've often found is actually what's going on is not a lack of mobility, you know, it's not tight ankles or tight hips. It's that your hips and your ankles are taking over what the core should be doing. So Jamie, why don't you kind of demonstrate what your squat, I'll just pick on you, what your squat looked like before you started to figure this out.
Yeah. So my squat, let's do it from the side so you can really see how bad it is. This is pretty much where my squat was for about a decade.
Yeah, so you can see he can't get his butt to his heels. He's not able to stay upright. His upper back is kind of rounded here, and his hips are probably feeling really tight. They're taking over a lot of the load, and he's just not in a very good position.
I'm free. I can't see. I can't even look ahead of me. I feel like I'm about to fall over at every second. I feel my nervous system getting really tense, and that's kind of what my squat looked like for when I realized that I'd lost that pattern from more of like sedentary, playing Xbox when I was a kid, and then some snowboard injury, stuff like that. I ended up losing a lot of my mobility, and when I woke up to that fact, I didn't know how to get it back. I spent years stretching, foam rolling, doing all those things, and just thinking that my body almost wasn't built anatomically to be able to get in a squat. It really wasn't.
I have high hips.
Oh yeah.
I have long femurs or whatever.
And certainly all those things still play a role, but no matter what our bodies were designed like, there should still be some room to get in this kind of really natural resting position.
Right.
Yeah.
So what we worked on with Jamie and when we were working on with our clients is properly learning how to activate this inner core of the TVA, and then why don't you show, it was crazy how fast it was for him. It's always kind of like this, it seems like a magic trick for a lot of people because they're like, oh, I thought that it just takes years of grinding, and they're so used to not
Yeah.
getting results that it's kind of surprising.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's the closest thing. Like really being able to do these kinds of activations is the closest thing that I think we can get to actually having a magic button, to seeing transformation happen overnight. And like, mind you, I'm about to show you my squat, and it's by no means is it perfect. It's a work in progress, but it's certainly something that I can play with.
Right. You can see here Jamie's a lot more upright, his spine is taller, he's able to get he's still got some work to do, but he's able to get his butt and his hips a lot closer to his heels and his ankles.
Mm-hmm.
And this is all from learning how to activate his core so his hips aren't having to take on too much load.
I feel like I could throw a punch from here and move side to side a little bit. I've got some room to play, I can bounce, I can hop. I don't feel like I'm falling over. I can breathe. I can look.
Right.
It's nice.
You're not like a wounded animal. It's like, ah.
And even now I'm in the position, it's really about refining motor skills too.
Right.
Seeing where I can activate, challenging
Right.
the position a little bit more.
And then he might get into the place now where he actually does realize, oh, I do need to work a little bit more on ankle mobility.
Yeah.
But it's not fighting against his own body now, it's actually working with his body.
And it's just made it clear, like I've been doing some dorsiflexion drills and stuff like that and seeing that progress, but now I'm so much closer. It's made what I need to do a lot clearer. And for me, like we talked about these high hips, some of you are going to have patterns that are a little bit different and have different things you need to work on. I do have really long femurs, so even though I actually have like quite a high degree of dorsiflexion, I actually need to create a little bit more just because of the dynamic that I'm working with.
Right.
But I'm learning so much more about what I need to do because I'm actually getting in the position now.
Right. Yeah, so we wanted to show you this example just so you can really see it and hopefully you understand it. But this applies to really almost any movement that you want to master, right? If you want to do a handstand or press to handstand, if you want to be able to do a pull-up, right? If you want to be able to, do a, handstand push-up, whatever it is.
Push-ups, pull-ups, leg lifts, the pancake's a really good one.
Yeah, it could be super simple things, like maybe you just want to be daily movements and feel better, or it could be like you want to do really cool shit with your body. Whatever it is, when you learn how to activate properly, starting from your core, and then of course, there are other players that you need to learn how to activate too. We're not just saying like, oh, it's just this one thing. It starts there. But once you get this principle of activation first, and then the movement comes second, you'll start to make progress a lot faster. Yeah. So the big takeaway, guys, is really learn how to activate properly, sequentially, and you're going to see that you're not going to exacerbate any injuries that you might have, any lower back things that you might have, or joint issues. A lot of that can get taken care of with the proper activation, and it's going to save you years in getting to where you want to go. I feel like a lot of people stretch and stretch and stretch and try and get mobile, and then they end up having to succumb to a story that's just not true. Right. That they weren't built to do these things. Right. And which is really sad. Right. Yeah. So you should be able to get to these places in a matter of weeks or at least months. If you're working on positions for years and you're still not getting anywhere, this might be a really good thing for you guys to try. Right. Yeah. If you're doing it that long, something is not broken with you, something is broken with the model that you're using. And we hate to see people blaming themselves, like, I'm just not disciplined enough, or my body's just like, it's not my DNA, or something like that. And you can actually make a lot of progress once you learn this thing. So definitely apply it, you guys. Let us know if you have any questions. Let us know if you might want some help with this. We'd love to help you out and start that conversation, and definitely leave your comments. And if you have any insights that were big breakthroughs for you, like we'd love to hear that, and love to hear any requests that you might have for other things for us to cover. Yeah. We're excited to hear how things go for you, and thanks for checking us out.